Shut up and sit down.
Welcome into the Skill of Chance. My name is Cody. Thank you for joining me today. We are on Spreaker at the Skill of Chance. We are on YouTube at the Skill of Chance. Coming up on the show, we're going to talk about NFL draft props. We got a bunch of those. We only got 3 of those, but they are worthy of listening to. I got my picks over my shoulder. I'll briefly go over that and baseball season. And the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship is tonight. My name is Cody. Go ahead and find me on Twitter at ctibbs81. Covering the MLB a lot lately. Not really much to go over, except from a gambling perspective. Lance Lynn made his debut today with the Twins with his one-year, $12 million deal, and it looked like he's pitching with a chip on his shoulder and maybe a little bit more pressure than he needs. It looked like, all off-season there was those guys who really wanted those long-term player-friendly deals, and a lot of people didn't get it, and he was one of those guys. He probably wanted the long-term deal worth a little bit of money, just job security, right? I mean, you can't blame the guy. 1 year, $12 million is what he got, and he made his debut for the Twins and gave up 5 earned runs in the first inning. Now, one thing from a gambling perspective you have to keep your eye on is that after that, he only went 4 innings, but 2, 3, and 4, he looked good. He looked like Lance Lynn. And now I made a mental note of that. Next time he's on the mound, I will be all over it, and I will take him and the under. Granted, he's got another guy he's going up against that's decent, but I think he goes out there and gets back to his old ways. I don't think he's necessarily a great pitcher, and obviously that showed, but I think he's better than that 5 earned runs in the first inning. Let's go ahead and jump into the NFL draft now. That's coming up very soon, the last Thursday in April. Couldn't be more excited for that. Draft props. These are on OddsShark, and I have them on the bookmaker as well. Who will be drafted first overall in the NFL draft? Now, a report came out today that the Browns are taking Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley 1 and 4. Those are their picks. How often do you hear of a team coming out and giving out their draft picks? It doesn't happen very often. It actually never happens unless it's the first overall pick and they say, hey, this is who we're taking, and they draft them. Other than that, it doesn't happen. So do I necessarily buy into it? No, I think they're trying to get a team to bite on a trade. In which case, Saquon Barkley is plus 180 to be the first overall draft pick. Sam Darnold's at plus 300. Josh Rosen at plus 800. And Field, any other player, plus 1,600. There's a couple guys mixed in, obviously Minkah Fitzpatrick, Bradley Chubb, Baker Mayfield, but those guys aren't worth talking about. We're going to talk about Saquon Barkley is the pick to make. I don't do props. We'll talk about that in a second. I don't do props. I don't do long-term bets too often. But if I were a betting man and a smart man, I would take Saquon Barkley and Sam Darnold. Now, the reason we do that, reason we're doing that, think about it. If the Browns are picking first overall and they really do like Josh Allen, they're not taking Josh Allen number 1 overall. No. They're going to take Saquon Barkley to make sure that the Giants sitting at 2 don't like him that much, or the Jets sitting at 3 don't like Saquon Barkley, because both those guys have quarterbacks. I think Teddy's a good quarterback. I think the Jets believe that as well. They just need a run game. If the Giants are in win-now mode, Saquon's the guy to go with. And same with the Jets. If they're in win-now mode, well, not win now, they got a little ways to go. But if they're looking to win within the next few years, Saquon's a great guy to build around. Look at what the Rams did with Todd Gurley. And I guarantee you they're thinking the same thing. Saquon's really the pick there. But if the Browns are looking to trade out, someone's looking to take Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold's your pick. Those are 2 very safe picks. Everyone else, throw it against the fan. Those are no good. You're going to win one of those. I can almost guarantee it. Your next one is Shaquem Griffin. What round will he be drafted in? Right? He's the linebacker out of UCF with 1.5 hands. He's missing a hand. He's got a nub. I don't know what the word is there. But first round, plus 6,000. Second round, plus 1,500. Third round, plus 175. And the field is minus 400. If you are doing this more for fun, you're going to a draft party, and you just looking for something to bet on, like if you're going to a Super Bowl party like I like to do, and I bet heads or tails, Gatorade color, national anthem, all that fun stuff, your pick here is the second round. Absolutely the second round. I think there's a better chance he goes in the 4th through 7th. But third round, no odds. Field, no odds. Second round, plus 1,500. I think there's a chance that someone reaches for him. He is a good linebacker. I think he's got the question marks on top of what normal guys usually have. He does have the question marks, obviously not in the first round. He won't be taken, but someone might reach for him in the second round. I could see someone like even New England, who likes drafting that front 7 or front 6. No, they're a front 6 team. Either way, they like taking that front 6 or 7, and he's a guy that fits well in that system. The Bucks love reaching for picks. He's a guy you could get in the second round. A good second round linebacker. I think there's a chance. If the Bucks go with the corner, why not add a linebacker to go with Levante David and the other guy? Can't think of his name right now, but they got 2 good linebackers. Add him in there. You got 3 good linebackers, or even a chance for this guy to sit back and learn. But I think he's a guy who's going to be playing right away. I think he goes in this. I think there's a good chance he goes in the second round. If I'm a gambling man, which I am, I put a bet on the second round. Realistically, he is probably a third round pick, but at plus 175, what's the fun in that? Your third prop is which NFL team will take Baker Mayfield? Dolphins plus 400, wrong. Bengals plus 600, wrong. Ravens plus 547, I like it. Arizona Cardinals plus 701, yep. And Field minus 350, no odds there, so we're going to stay away from the Field, and we're going to narrow it down to the Ravens and the Cardinals. Now, the reason I said yeah to the Cardinals is because, is Sam Bradford your guy? Is Sam Bradford your guy really going forward? No. Sam Bradford's not your guy going forward. I think Baker's a good guy to learn behind Sam Bradford. Baker's got a lot to learn, I think. But Sam Bradford, they say he's going to be a coach, or he's good enough to be a coach when he is done with his illustrious playing career that he's had. A very smart guy. And you can tell with every system he goes into, he tends to have pretty good success until his knees give out. So the Cardinals aren't going forward with Mr. Bradford. That's why I like the Cardinals to take him. Now, Joe Flacco is also kind of getting up there in age. He was taken in the 2008 draft, right? Joe Flacco age. Joe Flacco's getting up there. 33. Not necessarily old, but he's been around the block a while, or he's been around the block a couple times. So looking at that and the success he hasn't had lately, you got to think he's also a good fit there in Baltimore. He's got a good guy to learn behind, and he could learn for a few years. Both of those teams I just mentioned are also great fits for Johnny Manziel, but that's not a prop. So we're not taking Field because there's no fun in that. You're not going to do anything with that. Minus 350, safe pick. And if you're trying to make some money, sure, that might be a fine way to go, but that's not what we're trying to do here. We're kind of all or nothing. Second round on Shaquem Griffin, Arizona Cardinals to take Baker Mayfield. And I don't even know if it'd be a first-round pick. Yeah, I guess it would be. They're in rebuild mode. Cardinals to take Baker seems fair to me. I like that pick a lot. But, again, what do we know? It's the NFL draft. It's just a guess. I love watching the draft. I try not to get into the analysis of it until after the draft. But pre-draft analysis is the most obnoxious thing on the planet to me. I really can't stand it. It does nothing for me. It does nothing for me. What do you know? You're just playing speculation on who would be on what team and how much fun it would be if these guys were all together, or if the Giants traded OBJ to the Rams and what the Rams could do with OBJ. And I don't know. It's just stuff that just drives me up a wall. I will take the analysis after the fact. But I talked about how I don't necessarily do futures bets and how prop bets are more for the Super Bowl and all that. But every now and then, not too often, I will dabble in the futures bets game. And when I say that, I mean the last 4 years I've had the Lightning to win the Stanley Cup. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, we had the Lightning to win the Stanley Cup. And they got there. So did we let it ride? Did we say, hey, let's go, let's just all or nothing? No, because we didn't have much on the Lightning to win it all. When you do a preseason bet like that, they're plus 800, plus 900, a little bit of money to be made. So what did we do? We picked the Blackhawks to win the series. And that's a great way to go. When you have futures bets and you can quote-unquote hedge your bets, that's a fantastic way to go. You end up making a profit one way or another. You cut into your profits a little bit, but it's such a long shot in the first place to pick a team to win that it's tough. We did the same thing with the Patriots this year, and it paid off. We had the Eagles to win the game, and, I mean, we made a little bit of money, but it wasn't anything special, but we did we hedged the bet, and that's a smart way to go. It's a great way to go. And it's almost the same as trying to catch a middle. Catching a middle is one of the most difficult things in sports to do. You really got to have a lot of confidence in your bet. Not the most difficult thing in sports to do, but the most difficult thing in gambling to do. When a line opens at -4 and then runs to 6 or 7, realizing, okay, well, I got them at -4 and I can get them at +7. Oh, there's a 3-point middle there. It doesn't happen too often, but if you set your alerts on these apps, there's some good apps that you can set alerts on. There's a great way to go. So it's something to keep in mind if you can hedge your bets or if you can catch a middle. 2 smart things you should do, and that's one thing that will definitely help you be a better gambler, will help you make more money in the long run. Something to keep in mind, and we just made a YouTube video out of that, so thanks for watching. Now, we have the NCAA Championship for men's basketball going on tonight, and I live in the Tampa Bay area, and it's not a big deal. I mean, this is not a basketball town at all. I mean, we could really, really care less. And I do know what's going on because I followed Loyola the whole way. I liked Loyola a lot, and I don't want to say we. I do speak in third person sometimes. But, I'm not a big basketball guy. But my pick for tonight, to go along with those, my pick for tonight in the NCAA Championship will be Villanova -6. They were so dominant. They beat a 1 seed handily. I mean, the one guy was 10 for 11 from three-point land. I mean, they hit so many threes to where they were apologizing after the game for being so good. That's the kind of game you're looking for, right? So I do have Villanova -6. They opened at 5 or 5.5. 6 is fine. I got it at 6. We're good with that. I don't see any way Michigan even really competes in this game. It should be over pretty early. Michigan had such the easy ride. I don't think them being in the championship game means much to what they've done, more to who they played. They didn't really have to play anybody overly dominating, and which is good for them. I mean, that's great. They got to where they needed to be, but it doesn't help me have any confidence in them tonight. They played a number 11 seed, Loyola. They played a number 7 seed and somebody else. Anyway, they just had a real easy run, and that -6 seems way easy. We also have the over 9 in the Texas-Oakland game. Bartolo Colon's going on the mound again, and yes, he is still playing. He's on the mound tonight, and, what do you expect out of him? Average, yeah, good guy to eat innings. Go out there and hopefully save your bullpen for a little bit. It'll go probably a good 6 or 7 and give up a few runs. The other guy is very, very hit or miss. Andrew Triggs, Austin Triggs, I think it's Andrew. He is, he'll go games where I think he went 4 out of 5 games where he didn't give out a run, and then the one game he gave up 6. And then he'll give up 1 earned run, 1 earned run, 7 earned runs, 1 earned run, 6 earned runs. It's very hit or miss. I haven't really followed him. I'm just looking at what I can see. So I'm going to say that he is a little bit of a miss. He doesn't tend to do, there's a bunch going into it, but I will take the over 9 in that game. We had the over 8 in the Minnesota-Pittsburgh game. That was 5-0 in the first inning where I got to mark it over. And then hopefully that -6 in the Villanova game will hit. We can go 3-0. If not, we'll be 2-1 because I have a lot of faith in Villanova as well. So a lot of faith in Villanova to get us 2 wins. And then this Bartolo game, really, I have no idea. That's going to be hit or miss. Bartolo looks great at sometimes, or looks great at times. So anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. YouTube, Spreaker, Twitter, @CTibs81. The Skill of Chance. Thank you for watching.